So today we will learn the 7th chapter in science for standard 8th, metals and non-metals. Hey, this video was made just for you. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So let us begin with this chapter called as metals and non-metals. Can you recall what are the three types in which elements are generally classified? We have learned this in the previous chapter. Elements are classified into three types, that is metals, non-metals and metalloids. What are the metals and non-metals that we use in everyday life? There is a huge list of metals and non-metals and each of them have countless uses in our daily life. For example, iron is used to build buildings and also used for nails and carpentry. Copper is used to make electric wires. Non-metals include gases such as nitrogen, oxygen, which we require to breathe because they are present in the air around us. All the objects or materials in the world are made from elements, compounds or their mixtures. So everything that is present around us and the whole world is made of elements, compounds or their mixtures. Scientists have classified all the elements into three different types, which are metals, non-metals and metalloids. Now we will see each of these further. The first one is metals. Metals include gold, silver, iron, copper, aluminium, magnesium, calcium, sodium, platinum and a few more. Metals have luster. Luster is the property of metals to shine. So these elements, when found in nature and after rubbing and cleaning them with sandpaper, you will observe the actual element and this will have a shine to it. That is called the property of luster. The metals are hard. You must have observed around you anything that is made of iron, copper or even gold and silver, they are very hard. Wire or sheet can be formed from them. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. So if you remember in the previous chapters, we learned of something called as malleability and ductility. This is the property of metals to be made into wires or sheets. Because these elements on hammering become thin and they do not break and they are not brittle. They form sheets or wires. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. It means that when you heat it, you will observe that the heat is easily distributed throughout the metal and it becomes hot very fast. Similarly, when you put electricity through it, electricity travels very easily through these metals and therefore copper and aluminium are used as wires that conduct electricity. Metals lose their valence electrons to produce positively charged ions, that is cations. So, if you remember, the valence electrons are present in every element and they tell us the number of bonds that can be formed with other elements. So, these valence electrons in metals can be lost. Once it loses the electrons, since electrons have a negative charge, once you lose the negative charge, the element will become positively charged. And this positively charged ion is called as cation. Now let us learn about the physical properties of metals. The physical state. Under ordinary temperature, metals stay in the solid state. Ordinary temperature, it means in the room temperature. In this temperature, the metals are solid state. That is, around you currently without applying any heat to it, all the metals would be in a solid state. However, there is an exception to this. Metals like mercury and gallium are exception which are in the liquid state even at room temperature. Because mercury is in the liquid state in the room temperature, it used to be used in the olden times in instruments that measure the temperature of the surroundings, such as thermometers. Can you recall? You might have seen a doctor's pressure gauge to measure blood pressure. During your visit to a dispensary, accompanying your relative. So whenever you go to the doctor's office, you must have noticed that the doctor measures the blood pressure. So while doing this, there is a special instrument that he or she uses. In that, you might have seen a grey colored liquid in a glass tube. So in that blood pressure instrument, there is a grey colored liquid inside a glass tube. What is that metal? This grey color liquid is nothing else but mercury. The second property that metals have is the property of luster. This is the property of the metal to shine. Take copper vessels at your home. Scrub them with lemon and rinse with water. Observe the luster before and after cleaning. So you must have copper vessels that you use for cooking at home. Observe it under the light and afterwards scrub it with lemon and rinse with water. Again observe it under the light. Light gets reflected from the cleaned or freshly cut surface of the metal and the metal looks lustrous. So this is the property of luster that all metals have, in which after scrubbing it, the light gets easily reflected. The third property is hardness. Generally, metals are hard and not soft. But there are exceptions to this rule as well. Exceptions are sodium and potassium, which are soft and can be easily cut by a knife. So usually when you take metals around you, for example iron, copper, aluminium or any such easily available metal, and try cutting it with a knife, you will not be able to do so. But if you take sodium and potassium, they are very soft and can be easily cut by a knife. The fourth property of metals is the property of ductility. This property is the ability of metals to be made into a wire. Have you ever gone to a goldsmith shop? A goldsmith is a person who makes jewelry out of gold, silver, platinum, etc. Have you seen the goldsmith making a wire of gold or silver? You must have observed goldsmiths have chains and necklaces and also bracelets which are made of tiny wire-like substances of gold. This is made because gold has a property of ductility in which gold can easily be made into very thin or thick wires. When a metal is pulled through a hole, its wire is formed. This property of metal is called ductility. The fifth property is malleability. Take an iron nail, place it on a platform and keep on hammering it. If you observe this, and do this experiment on metals, you will observe that after hammering a metal with a hammer, it will not break but rather become flat. Whereas when you do the same experiment on a non-metal, after hitting it with a hammer, you will observe that it is brittle and will break. After some time, you will see a thin sheet forming. So this is the property called malleability of metals, in which metals can be hammered to make a thin sheet. The sixth property is conduction of heat. Conduction of heat is when, after heating metals, the heat is easily distributed throughout the metal and the entire metal starts to heat up. That is, it will become warm. Take a copper plate. Fix some wax at one of its ends. So the wax is like candle wax. So after taking a copper plate, you put wax on one of its ends and heat the other end and observe what happens. So for example, if you take a plate or a wire and you put a wax drop on one end and you put a flame on the other end, you will observe that after a while the heat gets traveled along the metal and the wax begins to melt. This is because of the property of conduction of heat, where the copper plate easily distributes the heat. Metals are good conductors of heat. Silver, copper and aluminium are the best conductors of heat. So out of all the metals, silver, copper and aluminium are amongst the best conductors of heat. The seventh property of metals is the conduction of electricity. This is similar to conduction of heat, where instead of heat you apply electricity. So when you put electricity at one of the ends, you will observe that the other end gets the electricity, and this electricity is easily distributed throughout the metal. Which metals are used to make electric wires? Metals are good conductors of electricity. Therefore, we use copper, aluminium to make wires that are used to conduct electricity. Lead is an exception, which is neither a good conductor of heat nor a good conductor of electricity. So lead is the only metal that is not a good conductor of heat, and it is also not a good conductor of electricity. The eighth property of metals is called density. Metals have a high density. Density is mass upon volume, if you remember from the previous chapters. And after doing this, you will observe that metals have very high densities. Sodium, potassium and lithium are exception, having low density than water. So density is the ability of different types of substances, and it is compared with water. So usually metals have a very high density, and when placed in water they will sink. But there is an exception to this rule, in which it is observed that metals such as sodium, potassium and lithium have a density of lower than water. Therefore, when you place these metals in water, it is observed that it will float above water, because the density of water will be more than these metals. The density of lithium is only 0.53 grams per cubic centimeter. So it is very low. The ninth property is the melting point and the boiling point. Generally, metals have a very high melting point and very high boiling points. That is, in order for the metal to become a liquid and start to boil, a very high temperature is required. Similarly, for a metal to melt, a very high temperature is required. But there are exceptions to these. The exceptions are Hg, which is the short form for mercury, Ga, which is the short form for gallium, Na, which is the short form for sodium, and K, which is the short form for potassium. So these four elements have a relatively low melting point and boiling point. The 10th and the final property of metals is sonority. What is the metal that your school bell is made of? How does a bell function? Metals are sonorous. This is the property of metals to produce sound on striking. So you must have observed your school bell, that when the school bell rings, there is a metal that is again and again hitting the school bell. And because of that, the noise is produced. So metals have this property in which after striking, that is after hitting it, they produce sound. For the answers to this exercise and other free worksheets, please go to jkacademypro.com. This was the end of part 1. For the part 2 video, please click on the link in the description box below.